let's do that again. Yeah, that's where I got my salvation. Contentment and peace at my way. Well, I guess I'm just a little old-fashioned. I still love the old-fashioned way.
Welcome to Rebel Watch, an all Star Wars podcast.
Hey, what are you trying to push on us?
Perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly.
It's time to podcast.
It's time to podcast.
That was
That
probably
was sick, bro.
I think it was probably terrible.
Should we keep going?
Yeah, we should, because you know what it is?
I know.
We do it raw.
That was actually, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. This is the Rebel Watch podcast. You know what, Ez? You did it to me last week. I'm doing it to you. We're going live right now.
We're starting?
We're starting right now, and
I still have my finger picks on.
that's okay. Just wear them the whole time.
You can hear me right now?
They can hear you because I can
Did
see.
you sound check this?
I did sound check it before we did a sound check with our instruments. So,
Okay.
welcome to Rebel Watch. I'm your host, Ezra Kirk. I'm just kidding.
Michael Canterbury here.
So we had a few drinks. All
Did
right?
we? Just a few.
Just a few because we haven't had enough. And I you know what? As I don't want this to turn into just some booze fest where people think, you know what?
Yeah.
Mike and Ezra are just a bunch of alcoholics.
Right.
But I want people to come here having a good time.
Right.
And you and I haven't picked up instruments in how long?
It's been ages.
Ages.
Yeah, let's just throw it out.
Let's throw it out.
Not that we want people to go check this out on Facebook or on YouTube, but
Yeah.
there is a hidden page out there.
There is.
It's called A Fellow Man.
It is.
Because that's kind of the theme of Mike and Ez.
Yep.
It's just, we're just a fellow,
Just a fellow man
you know? Yeah.
who loves Star Wars and music and good music.
Right.
And sometimes traditional music. Mm-hmm. And so I don't even know if any of that picked up, but we just, Ez has got a guitar over here and a banjo, and
Yep.
we used to play in a band.
We did.
And it was a modest band.
Yeah, it was. It was really, I mean, you know what? We had a
Yeah.
couple big hits.
We did.
The River.
That was a good one. But we need to be humble.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
We're not Steel Wars.
We're not. No, we're not.
Okay.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I think we've been picking on him a little bit.
We
and
have.
need
And I'm
to-
so sorry, Steel. I really do love you. I love him.
I know, but we need to pick on a few other podcasts.
We
you
did,
know?
and we did. So sorry if literally none of that picked up. We needed to do a sound check. So as said, why don't I
Get
get
your
the
instruments out. Get them out. Let's see how they
probably
go.
didn't pick up anything, but this is you have come to the right place for Star Wars.
This is the podcast.
This isn't a folk man YouTube page. Or
No, not
is
at all.
it?
Or is it? Yeah, this is the podcast you're looking for.
Okay.
We promise. Okay. Man, what do we?
I love it, yeah.
Okay, by the way, like we're so off like tilt here that like don't forget to look at the lens itself. I'm like
That's-
looking over here to the side like an idiot.
No,
because
yeah. Look at the lens.
We didn't change anything.
We did.
We didn't even hardly get set up here. Oh, by the
Yep.
way, we have to give a quick shout out to our guy, I Eat Tacos on Instagram. Good guy.
I love it because you know what you posted that we had some Lady Bly,
I did.
some Cherry Coke, and some Psychopathy. Compliments of Mad Tree
And
Brewing
some sushi.
in Cincinnati and sushi.
And I asked if it was a good combo.
And I think he loved it. And I love that he responded. He's just, what did he say?
He said Rebel Watch podcasting, getting after it.
Getting after it.
You can tell, like here comes a good one.
Sounds
Something
like a
that.
good Saturday night. And this is probably going to be terrible. But we appreciate that you guys
man.
are willing to just hang out, enjoy your weekend, and hear us just babble about Star Wars.
Yeah, and that's the question. See, what I'm worried
Yeah.
about right now is
No
that
need to be
what are
worried.
we going to talk about today?
There's a lot.
What do you want to talk about?
I wanna talk-
Let's
Yep.
just give me a second.
Yep.
Should we meditate just for a second?
We probably should.
Let's just think real quick. I feel like we're having a moment. of
Is the
silence.
meditation over? I don't know how long
I
it
feel-
should last.
I don't know either. I just wanted to
Yep.
seek out the living force and make sure that we
You're
were
right.
on the right path.
It's a good thing.
We've
that-
talked
yep.
about the force. We've talked about the cosmic and the living force before. We've done that.
Yeah, we have.
So we can always go back to that. But
Yeah.
the force is in everything. So
It's in everything.
What were you thinking about earlier today? something got on your mind. You
It
walked
did.
in and you said, Ez, let me show you
Yep.
what Mark Hamill's been saying, Ryan Johnson. Let's talk about some of these leaks and things that are going on.
Yeah.
We speculate a lot.
We do speculate a lot, and we used to hate it.
Yep. And I think I'm done. I think I'm done speculating. There's
Wait for
too
it.
much stuff going on out there.
Yeah.
Like there's spoilers
Yep.
everywhere, and I'm just sort of like, I don't want to know the whole movie.
I don't either.
But I think we're getting close, and like for
Yep.
Ryan Johnson to get out ahead of this,
Yeah.
and to start to say like, if you don't want it ruined or spoiled, you just
Turn off
really
your freaking
have-
Instagram.
Yeah, throw your phone in the toilet.
Yeah.
That's basically what he said.
If that's what he says,
I did it. I'll do it.
As-
I would do whatever Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
You know, Mark Hamill especially.
yeah. Yes. If Mark Hamill told you to throw your phone in the
He
toilet,
wouldn't be able to
would
hit
you
us
do
up
it?
anymore on the.
That's true.
He,
Because
he texts us from time to
he
time.
does.
But
His entire family. Spoiler alert. I don't know. You know what?
big time spoiler alert.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. I want to be modest. You
We
know,
are way past that right now.
I don't want people to think, Mike and Ez are hanging out with the Hamills all the time. Well,
Well, I mean, not all the time, but
not
like
all the time.
I don't know. Sometimes they invite us over
Yeah.
on weekends.
Yeah, they do.
Are we full of it, or are we?
Are we? I don't know.
You know what? I'll say this.
Yeah.
So this is a Harry Potter reference. You know.
Whoa.
I know. I'm sorry, but Dumbledore actually said just because it's happening inside of your head doesn't make it any less real.
And that's when he took the memory from your head, right?
So I'm just thinking, like, I mean, I don't know. Ever since Celebration, I've been sort of like
Okay,
in
so
Star Wars world.
I need to come back to zero here because we're talking about Dumbledore, right?
No, yeah, well, we're talking about Star Wars, but I was talking about Dumbledore.
We're talking
yes.
about that's Harry Potter, right?
Yeah, that's Harry Potter.
Okay, because last time we talked about this,
Yeah, you got it all wrong. You were
Threw a
Lord of the
little
Rings.
curveball.
Yeah, it's okay.
but isn't it just as relevant though?
Well, yeah, I mean, it sort of is. I mean, it's
No,
just-
you're right.
What I'm thinking is,
Yeah,
is that
okay.
the idea is that it's in my head, you know, and so like
Yeah.
Hamill's coming over and visiting us, and us going there is.
We're getting cocky.
Do you think?
This isn't crop dusting.
No, it's not.
Okay.
this is not. It's
This
not.
isn't crop
It's
dusting.
not like dusting crops.
That's right.
But I do kind of wonder what Mark Hamill meant when he was talking to us the other day, because I think every time he tweets, he's just talking to us
Straight to us.
So
Yep.
he was talking about his
looking at the
relationship
camera.
with
Damn it.
Ben Solo. I know we gotta flip that thing. Ben Solo, right?
Yeah.
He was talking
Yes.
about that, right?
He was.
And how he thought maybe he was the chosen one.
How does he not? Man, the psychopathy. It's just like I think the psychopathy is the Force.
Me too.
I'm starting
Me
to
too.
think that this. I know you're not going to be able to see this. Oh, you know what? Let me
I
put
think
this
they
up
can.
there.
I think they can.
If you haven't checked out Mad Tree Brewing, you see that tree there?
It looks like a Force tree.
That's a Force tree.
I'm pretty sure
Okay.
it is.
So we're drinking.
Straight from the Force.
That's the only way I can explain it.
Right.
Because the Force is flowing through me right now,
Yeah.
and the only thing that I've consumed
Yeah.
is the psychopathy.
Right.
Okay, so
So what are you thinking when you think about Mark Hamill saying that possibly, Ben Solo is the chosen dealing with that?
I
It's
don't
almost like he
understand
was-
why.
Why did he say that?
I don't understand why. Because did Luke Skywalker not know that it was prophesied that his father was the chosen one? Do we have any reference material out there
No.
saying that he knew or did not know?
There might be some stuff in comics or something to fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
If you know, leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
Let us know. But I can't think of. See, that was the thing. Maybe in Legends, sure.
Yeah.
You know, but like, I'm thinking new canon. What does Luke know about his father, Anakin Skywalker, and
Yeah.
whether he was the chosen one or not? So did he come across a prophecy,
Yeah.
right? Did he come across the same prophecy
Yeah.
that the Jedi Masters of old came across?
Yeah.
And he has no guidance. You would think he could seek out Yoda and Obi-Wan in the Force.
That's the thing you would think.
you would
right?
think that, right? But
So did they interpret the fact that Anakin? So Anakin kills the Emperor, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
Darth Vader kills the Emperor. Essentially, seems to redeem himself. The fact that we have this First Order coming. There's some darkness out there that they all have to be sensing, right?
Right.
And the fact that that's still there, do they now interpret that Anakin was not the chosen one? And that because Luke has also failed and there's now appears to be this imbalance, if you want to call it that, though,
Right.
I mean, maybe this is actually bringing balance to the Force. Do they think that even Anakin and Luke were not the chosen ones?
they might. I mean, they might think that. That's why.
Right?
Well, because his comments confuse me just a little bit. So
Yeah.
is he thinking that, like, I'm just worried that we're still talking about the chosen one prophecy, and I don't think we need to be focused on.
Why
that.
would he mention it?
I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking is maybe he was confused by it, and he didn't have he didn't have the guidance that he needed, and so he was maybe pushing this on his nephew a little bit, or seeking out the chosen one when the chosen one has already come and a prophecy's been fulfilled. If he didn't know it was fulfilled, maybe he's still.
But that's the thing. What does fulfilled mean? What if we're saying the prophecy has been fulfilled? Is
that's a whole nother
the emperor's been destroyed? Is it
debate.
that? I mean, from a certain point of view.
Yeah.
Thank you, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
From a certain point of view, the fact that the First Order is rising, maybe that's bringing balance to the Force.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's getting really jacked up. We're talking about kind of
Well, let's just so we've never really done it. Let's talk about the balance.
Let's talk about it.
The Force.
Yeah,
right.
yep.
Is the Force? Is it always? We talk about the cosmic Force and the living Force. Like, is it trying to balance itself out? Like, it needs to have equal good guys and equal bad guys.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then there's a lot of ways to look at it. Anakin destroyed the Jedi Order, and you kind of have 1v1. You've got 2 Sith, and you had 2 to 3 Jedi or something like that. I mean, and then at the end, he destroys the Sith. But does that bring balance to the Force,
or is that bringing the Force out of balance,
or is it bringing it out of balance? Yeah, because
something
now you
has
have
to come up in its place. Then.
Right.
So
I think again, as it goes back to Yoda, a prophecy misinterpreted might have been that sort of thing.
Do you think he would if Yoda was in Episode 8? Do we have a feeling he might be?
He might be. I
mean, didn't we a while ago confirm that Frank Oz had been?
He had drove over to the.
Yeah.
We did, didn't we?
We did. So, do you think he'll go on record saying, you know what, we talked about it in back in the Clone Wars,
right? And we misread it or we misunderstood it.
We were wrong,
perhaps. I just think it's too confusing because
can't be
because then you get into the conversation of when you're looking at the balance of the Force. You've got the father, the brother, and the sister in Clone Wars,
and the Holy Spirit,
and the Holy Spirit. Yeah, and you look at how when you remember when Anakin was in the Clone Wars and he was turned, in a sense, he was turned and by the brother, and then he was brought back by the father. And there's this whole thing like Anakin was supposed to take the brother's place. It was just they
would never get into that.
I just don't think they could get into that. That's just too much. I do think Rian Johnson said they're going to explore the ancient, stories or the beginnings of the Force in a sense. But I don't know. I think Luke could be confused about the chosen one and thinking that his nephew is the chosen one or searching for the chosen one, and he doesn't need to be doing that. And that might show him some of the flaws in the old Jedi Order and maybe what he was trying to create himself.
It could be. They could be setting us up for this just reconceptualization. I don't even know if that's a word of like what balance is to the Force, because the novels seem to be setting us up for that with this humanizing of the Empire that we talked about.
We talked about that. Mm-hmm.
But you also, I would think that these huge budget films we're still going to be leaning on the side of the rebellion here or the resistance, and that is the true balance.
Yeah.
Sticking with that theme that all the other movies have gone with.
Well,
the true balance is destroying this evil.
Or if you look at the Thrawn novel, and if there's another evil out there to come,
you're right.
Then that galaxy needs to be in a balanced, orderly state.
Do we still think that's going to happen?
I do. I think it's. I can't believe that, and that's why I cannot stress to folks out there how important, how significant the Thrawn novel is, and that you need to go check that out, because he is preparing for a threat that is almost beyond. Like when he compares it to Palpatine, it's sort of like this is an evil that the galaxy can't quite understand.
That's right.
And I don't know. I always think of and I know someone was talking the other day about the timeline of Legends compared to the timeline now, and that technically the Yuuzhan Vong War would have happened by now, etc. But that's all been thrown out the window. So
I would think so.
Again, you look at the savagery of the Yuuzhan Vong. Maybe it's something that could come back into play, or something of its equivalence.
Yeah.
So we've said that time and time again, but I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to rack my brains around what it could be that we need to be balanced and ready for. So, but let me ask you a question.
Okay.
So Luke thinking that Ben maybe is the chosen one,
Yeah.
is that what drives him to the dark side? Or do you actually think he is dark side? Like, do you think he's completely given himself to the dark side? We see this pull
Ben?
and this struggle, to the light, right?
I heard my good friend Ken Napsuck off
You guys are
Collider.
close. You guys are
really
close.
Love you, Ken. Spoiler alert to Ken if he's not aware that we're close.
Right. Right.
I heard him say something a couple days ago saying that the fact that this is coming out now, that we're hearing that Luke is speculating that Ben Solo is the chosen one, the fact that they're releasing that and that
Right.
he thinks he was wrong, he thinks that Ben is going to be redeemed. And that's
doesn't
not
really.
that's not breaking news, but he
No, it's
thinks
not.
that really like affirms that Ben is going to be redeemed, and this is all about his redemption, which it's a great storyline. But then I have others like myself,
Yeah.
a lot of people saying this dude killed Han Solo.
Yeah, it's
He
unbelievable.
killed his father.
Right. Again, now Anakin killed younglings. And that's
He
the
did.
crazy thing,
Great
right?
point.
Yeah, that's
great point. But were those did those younglings have?
It does seem more intimate that it was his father.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely
Yeah.
does. But I just think that that's what the dark side can do. And I also wonder,
Good point.
someone, my good buddy Lane has actually said before that
That's an actual good buddy.
that's an actual good buddy. Yeah, there's no spoiler there.
No spoiler there.
So he actually said to me, he said, was talking about this whole idea that maybe Kylo or Ben Solo is undercover and in a sense needs help from
That'd
his
be great.
father.
That's
That-
elaborate.
Right, it's very elaborate that he needs help from his father to.
Yep.
He says, "Will you help me?" And when Han
Yeah.
says yes, what Ben really means is that I need to kill you to prove to Snoke that I have fully devoted myself to the dark side.
That would be so elaborate.
Right, and so if you look at it from that angle, you can see why maybe he would kill his father.
I think
Right?
I get it. I think that's
Or
extreme. Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but
No.
what if maybe he thinks that he has a power? There's always been this power to bring people back from the dead.
Yes.
So maybe Kylo thinks that he has that power. It's within his grasp, and maybe he could bring his father back or something. If he thought that he had that ability, then maybe it was like he could be
Yeah.
okay with doing this to his father.
Yeah.
To win Snoke over, to get closer to Snoke.
See, I think that's so elaborate. That's like 007
Yeah, it's pretty.
shit right there.
Yeah, it
And
was.
this
I'm
is
sorry.
a PG-13 broadcast, and
Yeah.
I'm really sorry about dropping that. But like,
Fine.
to me, Kylo or Ben Solo, whatever you want to call him, he thinks his purpose is to be the equivalent of Darth Vader. Someone has caused him to believe that is his purpose.
Right.
This isn't just him falling to the dark side. Anakin had a purpose of like he thought his purpose was to save Padme, and him falling to the dark side was a result of that.
Well,
Kylo thinks that he is supposed to fulfill something that Darth Vader, one of the most villainous people in the galaxy, didn't fulfill.
Right.
He thinks it's his job
needs
to
to-
do that. So
he-
someone has convinced him.
right. It's his job to
that's his-
finish
exactly
what his grandfather started.
Someone convinced him that's your destiny.
Right.
You can say Palpatine. Palpatine was misleading
and manipulative, yeah.
and manipulating Anakin. Like Anakin just kind of went with it and say, whatever you say to save Padme, I'll do.
Right.
This is Kylo Ren. I would assume he knows the things that Darth Vader did.
Yeah.
But he's looking to fulfill what he started. So he's been manipulated to think that this is what I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. So do you think then
Yeah.
that's why Mark Hamill was saying that we're going to explore that relationship a little
Yeah.
bit, and you're going to learn that maybe in a sense,
Yeah.
Luke set him up for that to think that he was the equivalent of the chosen one, and then he learns that they also
Great
thought my
point.
grandfather
Was
was
the chosen one. Great.
So it's almost like
Great
Luke then has
point.
pushed him to the dark side.
Like you can
Right?
even you can take the light side, the dark side out of it completely.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Just looking as like Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one. I'm gonna fulfill what you started.
Right.
in my mind, because I see the chaos that has ensued with no order,
Yeah.
I'm going to join this First Order, but I myself am going to be the chosen one.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
Darth Vader couldn't fulfill that.
Right.
That's
It's-
a great.
it is
I
a
don't
great-
think anyone's really talking about
Right.
that.
Right.
You take the light side, the dark side out of it. I think he might see himself as a chosen one because he's been told that.
Well, the other thing is too is that would explain why Luke is so maybe heartbroken by
Yeah.
and maybe feels really responsible for
Yeah.
things that are happening, because if he let slip or that his belief,
Yeah.
maybe he's overheard talking to other Jedi
Yeah.
or whoever that he thinks Ben might be the chosen one,
Yep.
like his grandfather, and then all of a sudden he starts to explore who his grandfather is. His mother didn't tell him that Darth Vader was his grandfather.
Yep.
There you go. He's just like, wait a second, they're trying to keep me from fulfilling my destiny.
You're
think
right.
They're afraid of me going to the dark side because they think I can't handle it. And in his mind, I can handle it, and it's something that I need to do.
Yeah.
I think that might be a better way of thinking about how he
I
decides to go to the dark side. Is that
And that's the him going to the dark side may be completely like incidental, like that. He may not even understood it completely because Luke didn't understand it completely.
right? Well, here's another thing too. You look at Mace Windu and his lightsaber techniques, and they often
Yeah.
said that they were very much dark side. Like
Yes.
you had to pull upon the dark side of the Force.
Yeah.
And maybe when you think of the dark side from Ben's point of view, it was like, I am training to be a Jedi, but I can
Yeah.
use these dark side powers. I can
Right.
tap into this side of the Force, and I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, because and that kind of contradicts what he says in the movie, because he's often talking about how he senses this pull back to the light.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll show you the dark side when he strikes down Lor Santeca.
does.
So that's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, that just brings us into just like, I don't know, I was going to ask you about those Snoke images that have been released. Have you seen those? Mm-hmm. I would assume that they're legit. He looks more than humanoid. He looks human.
I know everyone says he's humanoid. He could be. I mean, he's tall, right? So
That's true. But I think what we've been talking about speaks to just like Snoke's manipulation or Snoke's has to be tied into these Skywalkers
Somehow,
Just
yeah.
somehow, because he has this power over Kylo.
right. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where that comes from. I get it. The movie's not out, but like that's
Well, what gives?
if we're not seeing a Sith Lord,
well, here's a question.
what is he doing?
I'm not sure this is a question a lot of people are talking about. Maybe
Yeah.
Steele Saunders is talking about it. I don't.
God
I don't
bless
freaking
him.
know.
God
But
bless him.
let's think about how we pick on that guy a lot.
I love him, though.
and he's actually really
He's
famous
killing
and
it.
whatnot.
Actually,
Yeah,
we
so,
should have turned that.
It's okay. We're good. So let's think about how perhaps like Snoke. Why is it that Ben Solo reveres and respects Supreme Leader Snoke when his uncle is the one who defeated the Emperor and Vader and is well respected across the galaxy?
Great point.
Why would he betray his uncle? like
Great
this?
point.
And I think it has to do with, like you said, Snoke is more intimately involved with the Skywalkers than we realize.
Has to be.
And I think someone like perhaps Luke at one point said that perhaps maybe Snoke is knowledgeable in the Force or knows things about the Force that I don't know about, or maybe Skywalker or Luke reveres Snoke.
Yeah.
At one point, you've got 30 years here to work with.
You're right.
And maybe he sees that from his uncle, and he's like, oh, there's someone who knows more than Uncle Luke. And you know what I'm saying?
And
so
what is
why-
he then? I mean,
I don't know.
If he's not a Sith,
Right.
are we supposed to believe what JJ and Ryan Johnson have told us, that there were no Sith in The Force Awakens?
I think so, and I think it could, again, I go back to him maybe being a shaman of the wills, or someone
Great point.
that Luke really reveres, and maybe he's not completely on the dark side of the Force, but is definitely just has his own motives, his own
Yeah.
motivations. But you have to think you've got Luke Skywalker, you're his nephew. You have a direct line to this great training, to this
Yeah.
knowledge source, and then you're going to abandon that, and you're going to seek out Supreme Leader Snoke. So I have one of two things. Either
Yeah.
it's that he was neglected by Luke and his
Yes.
parents and things like that, and that's what forced him to maybe pushed him to Snoke.
Yep.
Or maybe three things. Or Luke had brought up the whole prophecy thing about
Yep.
his grandfather, and he went that way.
Yeah.
Or just that Snoke is highly revered among the Jedi.
Could be.
And he's a mystery to them, and he thinks he needs to go seek him out and learn from him.
And let me tack a fourth thing on there.
on.
I think this is we're getting deep and sweaty here, and I don't think people are really talking about this.
I can't believe we got that deep.
That's what
From
she
where
said.
we started.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
I'm sorry. It had to happen.
okay.
We can't go an episode without it.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's fine.
So let me tack a fourth one on there.
Come on.
What is the current? What do people think of Luke Skywalker in this moment
In the galaxy?
Yeah, because
Right.
the only
Just rumors.
idea of what we've heard is the things that Finn and Rey have heard, that he's just this hero
Right.
of the Republic. Cool, but he failed.
He did.
He failed. So what do people think of him? Leia's been looking for him, and she's what'd she say? I can't believe I was so crazy to think that I could just go out and find Luke. So
Right. Right.
we understand through bloodlines maybe how people view Leia.
Yes.
With
But-
this information, how do they view Luke?
Well, okay, interesting. We don't get a lot of this in Bloodlines, but 6 to 7 years Bloodlines is before The Force Awakens.
That's
and
right.
At that time, it's like Luke is still at the academy. He's still training his
He is.
order. He's still working with them.
That's
so
right.
in 6 to 7 years, he's become this sort of strange, just sort of out there,
Yeah.
on his own. We don't know he's disappeared. That's how
Yeah.
the opening crawl started. Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker has disappeared.
Yes,
He's vanished.
about cried.
I know, me too.
About cried.
And so it's a mystery as to what happened. I don't
is.
know, and we've talked about this in another podcast. I'm not so sure that people know that Ben Solo is Kylo Ren.
yeah,
Just like they didn't know that Anakin Skywalker was Darth Vader.
yeah.
So they're almost treated as two separate people. So I don't know that Leia and different folks let out that Ben Solo had. I think people believe he was destroyed.
Great point.
That some Dark Lord showed up and destroyed them, or
Great
the
point.
First Order destroyed them. And so
Do you think that she took drastic measures to ensure that that's what people thought?
perhaps.
Just like
Perhaps.
their father?
I
I mean, just
yeah, maybe.
just the steps that Obi-Wan took to tell Luke
Mm-hmm.
he destroyed your father. Do you think that they
So you think,
went out
do you
and
think,
told
Do you think Leia did that to Kylo or to Ben?
to
about her
Ben and the
grandfather?
galaxy?
Wait, do you mean about his grandfather or about him himself when he turned to the dark side?
Ben himself.
Okay, so when he turned to the dark side, I don't think she said anything. I think they let it be believed.
Yeah.
They didn't. I don't know if they held a funeral or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
The only
is
thing
he
we really
destroyed?
see is Lor Santeca realizing who
He knew who
the
he
man
was.
in the mask was.
So maybe more people know about it, but you would think. Now again, she's left the. You might have to switch over here, bro. Come on,
give me the red cup.
Come on.
Give me the red Solo cup.
the Solo cup.
That's what's up.
So you might have realized that. So yeah, Lor Santeca realizes who he is, and I think that maybe more people might have known. But at this point, Leia is with the Resistance.
Yeah.
Han is out smuggling again, and so really they're not too worried about their reputation and maybe talking or getting votes in the Senate.
Yeah.
They're doing their own thing at this point. So after Bloodlines, it kind of falls apart because they learn about Darth Vader being Leia's father, and she hid that from the galaxy.
But no one's talking about Kylo. Did we
Yeah, I don't know how much. I mean, I think they know that a Dark Lord, like the Knights of Ren, I mean, they've heard rumors
Yeah.
of this shadowy figure who's terrorizing the galaxy. But
Yeah.
are they connecting it with Ben Solo?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, and I
I
don't-
want to get to the nitty gritty familial ties.
Yeah.
In this next movie,
Exactly, and I think
Yeah.
Adam Driver had said that you're going to see a more.
I hope so.
Just not a softer side, but just more emotional,
human side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To Ben,
I hope so.
I think it's either flashback or it's more this something pulling him to the light. I think he is a little infatuated with Rey. And I don't think necessarily that it has to be romantic, but I think
Okay.
I'm serious. I
know
think
you are. I know you are.
there's either a force connection or there's something going on there that
Yeah.
excites him that he doesn't quite understand. The force
Yeah.
is sometimes mysterious and presents itself in mysterious ways. And so I think that intrigues him and it intrigues Snoke as well.
Well, here's the thing: if he's been led to believe that he's the chosen one this whole time, if we're to believe what Mark Hamill's saying in this interview, that Luke himself thought Ben was the chosen one, he would have told him that, right? I mean, it's not like anyone was keeping it away from Anakin that, hey, Anakin, hey, we think you're the chosen one. No one was hiding that.
No, they
He was
weren't.
well aware of
He had
that.
to live with that pressure. Yeah.
So he's going to be surprised that, wow, I feel a presence I've never felt. Like, who is this? Maybe now I'm going to start getting defensive and thinking that this person's going to come along. I'm the chosen one. My father was Anakin Skywalker, damn it. Or my grandfather.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to say father.
You're good.
Was Anakin Skywalker, damn it. Like, you're not going to take that from me. I have a mission to fulfill. I just don't see him going light.
You don't see him going light.
I really don't
Yeah.
see him being redeemed with these things
No.
at stake.
I don't see like a real. It's going to be something. The only way I see him being redeemed is like in Episode 9, Rey is in trouble, or thank you, sir, or something's going on, and he has to at the last moment, like somebody's striking down at Rey or force lightning her, and he just pulls
Okay.
out that lightsaber and just
Do you-
boom.
do you think that's-
this party's over? Is kind of what he's. You know,
Wow.
I mean,
Let's hope
one
that
of those-
doesn't happen.
One of those moments.
But I understand what you're saying. So do you
Yep.
think that I didn't mean to hit the mic there. I apologize.
You're good. It's a rough
Didn't mean to.
podcast.
Didn't mean to push that up there. So do you think that that's more of like a human? So let's say that happens.
Yeah.
Is that just a human reaction to him protecting this person? Let's say someone's going to strike down Rey and he protects her. Is that what that is, or is that a selfish, like, I think I can use this person as an asset to what I need to fulfill?
I think a force bond, he would sense. He's going to sense something with her. There's going to be
Okay.
a more intimate relationship, and it's hard to explain force bonds from legends and things,
Yeah.
but like there's something there that could be like the force is bringing them together for a reason.
Okay.
And I going back to what you said is, if he believes he's the chosen one and he's just unstoppable, and then he needs a force like Rey,
Yeah.
who's untrained and can stop him
Yeah.
and get away, that's impressive. That's extremely impressive, and I think that's going to mystify him. He's going to want to dwell on that. I don't know that he talks about it to Snoke too much, but he's going to have to figure out, what's going on. You know,
And the fact that Disney has made it a point. I mean, we see the scar on Kylo Ren's
Right.
face. That thing's going to act as a reminder.
yeah,
And whether that's
yep,
I failed, and this is going to be a consistent reminder that I failed, and I am going to redeem myself, and I'm going to kill Rey. Wow. Or
wow,
it's going to act as some sort of I don't know, the fact that they have him struck in the face,
Right.
And we have confirmed images of that leaving a scar.
Yeah.
That's going to be important.
right.
We see shots of him without his mask, with that scar. That's going to serve a purpose.
Right. Can I also bring up
Yeah.
an interesting point? When we saw the behind the scenes reel, we saw him fighting what looked like several other people. Correct.
Yes. Yeah. And
So I mean, that
yeah.
could be Luke and Rey.
Could be.
but it just didn't seem like it was.
You know what
And they're keeping it close to the chest.
They are.
On what's happening with Kylo.
That's right.
/ Ben Solo.
That's right.
We don't know anything about him. He's hardly in any photo shoots. He's not out giving interviews. He's not out
Great
talking
point.
to people. I mean,
point.
he is very under wraps. So to me, I think there's a big twist with him. There's a big surprise.
I agree.
But I don't know so much that it's him turning back to the light side. I think it's a
agree.
middle ground somewhere, and I think it's a new.
I agree. I think
platform.
that's. I mean, we could discuss this all day till the sun comes
We
up.
could.
I mean,
We might.
He killed it. We might. He killed his father, and I loved it when you brought in that. But you know what? Anakin killed younglings.
Yeah.
and that's how do you compare those two?
I mean-
Is Kylo redeemable?
Well, the other thing is too. Don't forget that Darth Vader. Although he kind of condemned the idea that the Death Star would destroy an entire planet, it's insignificant to the power of the Force.
Yeah.
He still went along with it, and he watched.
He did. He tried
the
to
entire
get,
planet be destroyed.
and he tried to get the plans
Yeah.
back to prevent that from happening.
Well, and also, he
Or
tried to
prevent the Death Star from being
Yeah, I mean,
destroyed.
because he didn't want that to be destroyed. He wanted to use this power,
You're right.
this weapon, and
Great
it's
point.
just like, and I get maybe Anakin's original idea that he wants to bring order to chaos. I get that, but he's okay with slaughtering millions.
You know what?
So I mean,
I'm gonna cry.
go ahead.
I just thought about Anakin,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought about him becoming Darth Vader, and you bringing up the like, just him trying to not prevent the destruction of the Death Star, but going along with it and acting as an agent of order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What happened
Right.
to Ben Solo that has caused him to go down this path? And I know I brought that up with Snoke. Is it just Snoke that is just the ultimate manipulator, or did something happen with Han, with Leia, with Luke? What happened?
Right.
I think it's more than just Snoke. I think Snoke was an opportunist and he jumped in
yes.
there.
Good.
Right?
That's a great. That's
Right.
let's keep talking about this, because let's look at in Bloodlines the Senate is, you get the populace and the centrists kind of vying for control, and you have one side saying that we need a more central government, and the other side saying the power belongs to the different planets. And I think that affects what's going on, right? He sees
Agreed.
this galaxy that's very kind of divided and split.
Agreed.
Right.
Yep.
So you also have the idea that I mean, you've got a resistance. Well, the resistance fleet.
Yep.
At that point, Bloodlines hadn't yet been formed. She finds out about the First Order there, and then kind of creates the resistance. So, yeah, what is it that causes him to think that he needs to join the First Order? Why the First Order?
Dude, I think, you know what?
Is it despite his mom? Because she's...
That behind the scenes reel, man, we about cried.
Oh, my gosh, I know.
And I thought a
great.
really emotional moment when Carrie Fisher said just a few words. She said, it's about family.
Yeah.
And that makes me think that, like we said, Snoke was an opportunist in a moment where he just jumped on to something that was just too good to be true. Something about this family happened
Yeah.
that has just divided them. It's divided. I mean, we saw Han and Leia having issues in the novels. We saw it in Aftermath. We saw it,
Clearly
especially
in
in Life Debt. In the movie, very evident. Something has happened with this family that it's not as cohesive and it's not as strong as we thought it was after episode 6,
or it would
right?
be, or something. Yeah.
And that is a very real portrayal of family.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, I mean, not all of us are becoming Sith Lords and seeking to destroy the galaxy.
Right.
But I think there's something there where this is a family story, and that's what it comes down to. So what happened with that family that allowed... Snoke could be some non-force sensitive individual. Right. What happened to allow him to come into Ben Solo's life to say, you know what, man, I got something here that you can become a part of, to where you feel wanted,
right?
And
that's the neglect we talked about.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel important, that you have a purpose. There's something there, and if we don't learn about in this movie, I'm going to be super disappointed. But it's about family, and Carrie Fisher was right.
She is, and I think one thing that I think is going to happen in this movie is that she is going to show a mother's unconditional love.
That's right.
And I actually think that...
And that might be the ultimate...
That might be what breaks him at the end of this, very, very, very end of this movie. And he has to live, and then, time will pass, and we'll have episode 9.
That's right.
And he's been struggling with this to where in 9, he's really set up to come back to the light side. I don't know that it's going to happen, or it just torments him even more.
Yeah.
Something like that. Another thing I'll say, a reference to Legends, in the New Jedi Order, when Luke is summoned to, I think it's Coruscant, and he's talking to the Senate there, and he actually brings Jason Solo with him, and they're talking about how the Jedi are just out gallivanting around. They have their own agenda. They're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
He had trained these Jedi, and they became Jedi Knights,
That's right.
and they just sort of took things into their own hands.
Yeah.
And there wasn't yet a cohesive order,
Yeah.
and people taking directives from the Jedi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the And so I'm wondering if that's maybe what this order turned into. Right,
and what a
Ben
huge
sees
failure
that
on Luke
Luke's
Skywalker's part. I think that would be genius.
It would be, and then you'd also see that then Ben saying, Uncle Luke is like he's hearing maybe grumblings and things from the Senate or what have you. The Jedi are just out doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And he decides it's chaos. It's chaos in the Jedi Order. It's chaos at this academy, and we need to destroy it and tear it down and start anew.
Do you think...
Because he wants to be Rey's teacher.
He does.
He believes in passing on what he's learned, but I don't think he liked the model or the way that Luke was going about it.
And what might cause him to feel that way? We talk about this threat from the unknown regions.
Right.
I think you and I, we can see it.
Yeah.
We can see the island.
Right.
We can see this unknown threat having such a big part of this story because we've read the novels. But you have others that haven't read the novels. So could Ben possibly think that there's such a huge threat out there that he sees this resistance and this republic saying, you guys are weak?
Right. Could be.
I've talked to Thrawn. Or I've read Thrawn's logs. I've read them. I know what's out there.
Right.
Snoke
has
comes
warned
from
me.
that. He's warned us.
Right. He's warned us of what's
You're
coming.
not strong enough.
Right.
And I have witnessed my grandfather failing to prevent this because let's remember.
Yeah.
Thrawn thought that the Empire was capable of stopping this threat. If he didn't think it was capable, he would have saw that it was destroyed.
And he said that to Night Swan.
Right?
Yeah.
He said that. So he may understand that his grandfather failed. And I'm going to finish what you started. I'm going to prepare
this
galaxy for what's to come. And it may not even be so much as to destroy the Jedi. It's to prepare ourselves.
Well, and we're a little redundant here, but something that you said earlier was that perhaps it's not necessarily that he's angry or upset with Uncle Luke, but he just says Luke says I'm the chosen one, or Luke's seeking the chosen one, and if that's me, then maybe it's my turn to bring order to this, and Uncle Luke doesn't have this right, and so all of a sudden by Luke feeding him that information, Ben got a big head and got ahead of himself and decided I need to save the galaxy.
Yeah.
Because I keep wondering, what is his motive? Because Anakin wanted to save Padme, right?
Yeah. Great point.
He wanted to bring order to the galaxy. So what does Ben Solo, why?
There's no Padme here, so
There's
at least
not,
that we know of.
So what else could it be? I believe it's like Luke's going about this the wrong way. I'm the chosen one, so I have to fulfill my grandfather's destiny. Or Snoke has warned me or told me, and if Snoke's
of a threat.
revered and well respected, and knows of a threat that's coming, and he has a better plan and a better way to go about it, then I need to be on the right side of this and protect the galaxy. But we don't really see a lot of that in Kylo in the Force Awakens. It just seems like this, But he's obsessed with finding Luke Skywalker.
He is.
Right? Why is he so obsessed?
It's either out of hatred or that Luke has knowledge that
he needs.
No one else has.
I think it is part of it. I don't think it's just simply that he wants to strike down his. I mean, he's already destroyed his. That's something people need to understand. He's already destroyed Luke in a sense that he's destroyed his academy. Luke has vanished. Why hunt down Skywalker?
Yeah.
There is knowledge there. Snoke needs it. He needs it.
And that may be Snoke's purpose, because what does Snoke say about if Skywalker returns, the new Jedi will rise.
Right.
That may be Snoke's purpose.
Right.
But maybe even Ben is seeing more of a holistic purpose for finding Luke than just preventing the new Jedi. Maybe there's something that
he's got to talk
even
to him
aware
first.
about.
Maybe he wants to be the first one to find him.
Yeah.
Needs information or something.
Maybe he's aware about something that Snoke isn't.
Perhaps.
I don't know. I find myself, after reading the Star Wars novels, wanting there to be some really it doesn't even have to be elaborate, but just a storyline that hasn't even been hinted at in the movies.
Right.
I want that. I don't know how you can't tie that in, but it even we're how many months away from the movie?
Gosh, 5,
if that.
Like,
it feels like that's not even a possibility, and that sucks because there's such a good story there.
Yeah.
With the unknown regions and those involved here in the galaxy that we're speaking of, just like it's unfortunate.
Right.
That makes me sad because
Right.
it almost makes me wish I never would have read the novels. I take that back immediately. I love that I read the novels.
Absolutely.
But I want that to be tied in. I get that not every Star Wars fan is going to read these novels, but there has to be. I don't know. You have to reward those that are the really in-depth fans that I feel like we are.
Right, yeah.
And if you think we're not, call us out on it.
Sure.
But I you have to reward those.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately the only reward, I think Thrawn is big, and I think we'll have to, if they're going to go that direction with the Unknown Region, they're going to have to start hinting at that in the actual movies.
You're right.
So they may do that.
This is the one, right? I mean,
This
they
is the
can't
one to
just
do
go not hinting at this and then go into episode 9.
No, they can't.
Right?
No, and one more topic for us to discuss to kind of wrap this up is that look at how the Empire, 4, 5, and 6, it was about defeating this evil empire.
Yeah.
And they've kind of started with, the First Order being that evil empire. But do you really think that this whole thing is just about the Resistance defeating the First Order? Is it just a repeat of 4, 5,
the
and
same
6?
story.
I don't think that's what it is.
No,
That's why this episode, when Ryan Johnson says it's exploring,
exactly.
right?
This is not what everyone's saying it.
Yeah.
Daisy Ridley, Mark Hamill, Ryan Johnson. Everyone is saying this is not what you expect.
Right. But
And I think The Force Awakens
right,
led us
it's
to
needed.
believe that
It
this
did.
is it's
It's a
just gonna be the
setup.
same old story. It
It's a
feels
setup.
like a setup. So we're in store for something. Maybe we haven't discussed it here,
Yeah.
but it feels like something's coming.
It does. Something's coming. Something big. There's something that's I don't know, we have all these ancient references in Snoke himself and just the technology of Kylo's lightsaber.
Yeah. Yes.
Perhaps what Luke is looking at is the Book of the Wills.
Why return to the first Jedi Temple?
Yeah, exactly. So there's this return to ancient knowledge, and I just think they're setting us up for what could be a whole new, just a whole new something, a whole new order or a whole new power that emerges that, it's not about the Resistance versus the First Order necessarily anymore.
Not necessarily.
And,
No.
and the title of this is The Last Jedi. The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So where episode 4 was all about a new hope against this empire. 5, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Which helps the rebellion to destroy the empire. That may be a part of it, and a subplot to this whole thing is that we defeat the First Order. But I just think it's more. It's such a minor subplot to maybe what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That we got to keep our eye on the ball.
We do.
And psychopathy's not helping us keep our eye on the ball right now.
Lady Bly, psychopathy.
gosh.
But it clouds my judgment, but it also makes things much more clear.
I got a question for you. Since we're just kind
Is
of
this a Porg question?
this is have you seen those?
I think they're adorable.
By the way, everyone called me out and said
Yeah.
that Chewie did not eat one of those things. He did. Look at the behind the scenes reel. There's
That's
a
right,
feather.
the feather.
Yeah.
I
called
you
that.
may be onto something.
I called that.
There's a still of a Porg sitting
Right next
what
to
appears
Chewie.
to be
He
right next
eats
to
it. It's okay. Chewie's hungry. Maybe he spits it back out. But
If you're right about that, we're
telling you.
shutting the channel down
telling you.
because that's the most spot on thing ever.
Well,
You're right though.
the thing is I think Ryan Johnson kind of said that Chewie would be dealing with Han's loss in a lot of different ways,
Yes.
but resilient,
eating
and,
porgs.
I think maybe communicating with Han in that fire. You remember that fire that's underneath the Millennium Falcon? Remember Chewie's just sitting there. It was one of the shots. It's the behind the scenes shot where Chewie's just by the fire.
Do you think
Chilling
that
out.
maybe a porg taps into the Force
Perhaps.
and just speaks, via the porg,
Right.
and the
Han-
fire? It reminds
Han
me of the
speaks-
Ninja Turtles.
It does a little bit. It's
Like
like
Splinter
Splinter's coming
appears.
back. Yeah.
But so when we joke about the porgs, but that
Right.
shot with Chewie and the porg, they're on the Millennium Falcon, right?
They are. Yes.
I feel like maybe Chewie doesn't just take him as a meal, but like a friend, like a
I think
not
he ate
like
that
just
pork.
like a. You think? So?
I think he did. But
I appreciate that.
Go ahead.
It's just he seems like it's not a pet, but like I don't know, like a soft side of Chewie that we've never seen.
Okay.
Like a buddy. Like he has R2,
well,
I get it.
The
but
cool thing
like,
about Chewie is I think he does have that softer side, and George Lucas was going for like you know,
Yes.
his dog, you know, riding shotgun,
Yes.
that sort of thing. And so
now you got a Borg in there,
exactly,
in the cockpit.
and I think it's just going to be really lovable and awesome.
agree.
But
I agree.
My other question is, do you think? And I'm going to call a few folks out here.
That's
Is that okay?
That's what we do, and they
I'm
know
sorry.
that it's just that we respect them.
I'm
though,
sorry.
right?
I honestly want to know if Star Wars is it. Hold on, is it underground, underworld? What? Who are
Star
they?
Wars Underground.
Is that what they are? I mean,
I actually don't know.
we
think
saw them
it's-
at Celebration.
we
By the
did.
way, fellas,
They had a-
thanks
had-
for saying hi.
They
I'm
had
just
they had a booth.
They had a booth. They did big time.
It's Star Wars Underground.
Star Wars Underground.
has to be.
It is Star Wars Underground. It's messing.
Star Wars Underworld is too vampire-esque,
I don't know, but
right?
yeah. Well, you know what? Before we got the thing up here, right? Let's just check. So
We'll tweet at them. They are great,
But
though.
my
I really
question
enjoy them.
is, are they talking about what we just talked about?
I don't
I'm
know.
not
as-
trying to be big-headed. I'm not
No.
trying to, you know.
Here's the thing: is here's
Underworld.
here's the thing about.
It's Underworld. Did you
It-
say underground?
Damn it!
Son of a gun.
Bunch of freaking vampires out there. Just whatever.
You know.
Here's the thing:
They're good guys, by the way. We really
they
do.
really are.
They're good
I
guys.
like I said it last episode. I love every single Star Wars
podcast, except for now this is
podcast, crit-
podcasting. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, great point.
I'm kidding.
No, put that in the banner.
Okay.
Put it in the banner. I lost my train of thought.
Are they discussing
Back on track.
Kylo and that relationship
Here's
between him and Luke and Snoke? I
Here's
mean,
the thing:
I don't
is
know.
I love scripted
Sure.
theories. I love scripted breakdowns. There's so much scripted just productions going on. You wanted to get sweaty. Let's
I
get
did.
sweaty.
Let's get sweaty.
There's
Let's do it.
there's so much scripted discussion of Star Wars. Sometimes I
not
just
what we do.
I just want to see a couple of guys talking about it, and
Just a
that's
fella,
why
man.
that's why I love Rebel Scum podcast, because that's what those guys do. They sit there and they have a conversation.
James, we love you.
We love you guys. Whether they're drinking psychopathy or not,
It's okay.
you can argue that it
Canadian-
clouds our judgment or
some Canadian
it makes
brew.
things more clear.
Right, right.
But sometimes I just want some folks going out and just having a conversation about Star Wars, and I don't want it to be a 3-second or a 3-minute discussion of legends or canon material. I'm actually kind of sick of that.
I didn't mean to open this can with Mike because he's
I'm sorry.
harboring
I
this
just,
like
don't
Mike.
call yourselves a podcast then.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
But I
didn't
still
mean,
love
you know,
them.
Yeah, I did not mean for this to go that
I'm
way.
upset.
Okay?
I shouldn't have done that.
That's not
I shouldn't have
where we
lashed
were
out.
going.
It's the Lady Bly.
It is.
It's the
is.
Lady Bly. I typically don't drink Lady Bly.
You know, that's the thing. This is why
Yeah.
we want to have some of those podcasts on there.
We do.
You know, we want. First of all, Rebel Force Radio is actually a pretty lit. They're in Columbus, by the way, too.
I love
Columbus
those.
and
I love
Indianapolis.
those guys. Like we actually,
good guys.
I'm pretty sure we actually met up with them a couple of times.
Yeah, oh yeah,
We did.
we ran into them. Yeah, that's right.
Here's the thing, though: is this a bad time to invite these guys to come on the Star
No,
Wars trivia trials?
First of all, no, you should come on the trivia
Okay.
trials. And the other thing is too, Mike and I are not always this. This is a Saturday night, you know,
yeah, I'm just
having a
being
good
mean.
time.
I don't know
you
what's wrong with me.
So I mean, the thing is, we like these other podcasts. We want to invite them
do.
on. We want these different guys to come on and collaborate with us. So if you know of anybody who's interested, also Lindsay said she's down.
I love Lindsay. Is she going to come on?
She said she's down to collaborate.
love Lindsay
Folks,
so
I also
much.
messed up where
Yep.
she's not Minot Manor. That's Trinity. By the way, thank you, Trinity.
I blame Ez.
It's clashingsabers.org or .com.
I actually think it's a better name.
My bad. That's my fault.
I think it's a
that's
better
where
name.
Lindsay writes, in case you were looking for
Love
her.
you,
So
Lindsay.
But-
Here's the thing, is
go ahead.
let's
Wrap it up for me.
Let's get down to just business, because
Nitty-gritty.
I come out, I call out some people.
Sure.
You call out some people.
Sure.
That's what we do. Hey,
I know where you're going.
just think of us.
I see it.
It's like my wrestling persona.
I see the island.
Did you ever see Mankind and The Undertaker or Stone Cold, Steve Austin coming out and just calling people out? That's it's a persona. I love, or is it?
yeah,
I don't know.
right.
That's
Or is it? Good question.
that's great acting.
It's another conversation.
But I love I love the community. We talked about this last time. I love the Star Wars
I
community.
do. Me too. Yeah.
My life was changed after in person going to Celebration.
Life changed.
It was
Yeah.
life changing.
Right.
We're going from now on. We're going to interact much more with the community. I love everyone that's willing to go out there and talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
I love all the comments we get,
Sure.
whether they're negative or positive. I love that people are just passionate enough about this story. And that's what it is. It's a story.
Sure. Yep.
They're passionate enough to go and have a conversation with other fans.
Yep.
And for the most part, everyone's respectful.
They are.
A
Yes.
lot, there's some disrespect. You're going to have that. That's everywhere. But
yeah. It's mostly Mandalorians, but it's not a big deal.
it is I'm glad you brought that up because
I'm
it
sorry.
tends to be the Mandalorians.
kidding.
That's just their planet.
That's who
It's
they are.
fine.
It's fine.
But it's something I want to be a part of. It's why that we're comfortable enough to come on and have a psychopathy or
Sure.
have some
Sure.
cherry coke and Lady Bly and have a conversation because it's all good and fun. We all love it and we just want to have a conversation about
Yeah.
it.
We do. We also, though, what Mike was getting to was
I was
that
preaching. I'm sorry.
You, it's fine. It's
I'm
good.
sorry.
You get up there on that soapbox. Is that if you wanted to,
Yes.
if Bright Tree Radio decides they want to call out, Star Wars Minute or
You
Star
can
Minute,
do that.
you can do that. And you know what you can do?
There's
you
a
can,
place where they can do that.
That's right. They can do it on Star Wars Trivia Trials.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
If you guys want to, send us an email. We're trying to
Yeah.
get a list of some folks together
right.
who wouldn't mind just going toe to toe in some Star Wars
That's
trivia.
right. All out of respect. There's all love there.
Sure.
But it's a competition.
It is. It's just. It's
your
just
trials.
a chance. It's a chance to go through the trials.
It is.
So-
you don't get that very often.
We gotta get that fired up and going soon.
You're right.
We really
I
do.
I am gonna go ahead and make a prediction.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Not a prediction, but I think by
Statement.
next week,
Sure.
come Friday,
Sure. Yep.
maybe 2 Fridays from now, when this
Okay.
is
Posted.
we're gonna have our first trivia trials
Okay.
out there.
All right.
And I hope that folks see that we're having a lot of fun. I hope
Yeah.
that they see that this is a good time and that we are willing to bring in podcasts and do this over the air.
Listeners and just fans
That's
of
right.
Star Wars.
That's right.
Whoever
That's right.
you may be.
That's
I mean,
right.
We got the Outer Rim division. We got the Mid Rim division.
That's right.
I mean,
That's right.
Gosh.
All are welcome.
yeah.
All are welcome.
Oh my Lord! How did we? What happened?
Longest podcast ever.
I just don't even know what happened.
What did
to-
we just talk about?
We'll have to go back and watch it.
I think it was the music.
Listen to it.
We probably never should have brought the instruments into it.
We shouldn't have. We apologize. Today was a little random. Actually, I thought it was a pretty good discussion.
I had to be said because
And I want to know what folks think about it,
I do
honestly,
too.
because
I do too.
I do kind of want to know if if you listen to the whole podcast, we apologize, and we
but
thank
also
you.
thank you.
Yeah. But we do want to know what
Yeah.
you think about Kylo and Luke's, or I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Ben and Luke's relationship, and what was it that drove him to the dark side? Like seriously,
Yeah.
get deep and sweaty with it, because
Yeah.
I'm honestly trying to rack my brains around what it was. You have to have a motive
That's right.
as a villain, and it has to be something that you're like, okay, I can see why he chose that path. He's not just an evil guy who decides I'm gonna up and turn.
Those are the sweaty details that are going to define a generation of new Star Wars fans.
Let's go.
That's the conversation that needs to be had. It's not, are the Porgs going to be are they going to defeat the Empire just like the Ewoks? That's not the conversation that needs to be had.
Is somebody having that conversation?
Yes,
because I would love to get in that
There's so much
conversation. That's
Porg
crazy.
bashing going on right now.
They're bashing the Porgs?
Freaking cute as all get out. So
Wow.
get off the internet.
I didn't know people were bashing the Porgs.
They are.
Are you kidding me?
There has literally been released 2 still frames of Porgs, and people are just like, "Oh, that's the new Ewoks of this generation." No, the conversation needs to be had is exactly what you said. It's this familial issue.
Yeah.
What is causing Ben Solo to do exactly what he's doing? It's bigger than Porgs.
I didn't know those conversations were happening. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. It's as
honestly.
insane as the
My
forces of destiny, folks that are going out and bashing it.
That's insane. We need to check into it. All right, guys. Mike's been fired up. It's been a good time.
Get this flannel off.
Get just you know what I mean.
Get that flannel off.
Gosh. All right. Thanks so much. You got anything else, man?
Nah, man, I really enjoy
Alright.
doing this. Yeah, the Lady Bly is with me. But yeah, thanks for having me. I really enjoy it. We go a little crazy. I hope you guys enjoy it. we just take the weekends or Tuesday nights, whenever we can film these things, and just have a good time. We enjoy Star Wars. We enjoy having a good time.
We do,
and we hope that you are enjoying it with us.
Right, exactly. So, all right, guys, thanks. Leave us some comments down below. If you like this podcast, give it a little thumbs up, give us a little review on iTunes. That would be fantastic. Also, check us out on patreon.com/RebelWatch. Again, we will read your Snoke theory. I don't care how crazy it is. We will read it.
That's right.
Whether it's a Rey theory, it's a Porg theory, I don't give a crap. We will
Snoke is a porg.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go there, folks. There's nowhere we won't go in this galaxy.
That's right.
So, but definitely hit us up there. And all right, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And as always, may the Force be with you. Let's go, son. So is that G, C, G, D.
Yep.
Well, I guess I'm just a little old-fashioned. I love the old-fashioned way. Fucking
You all right,
Christ,
bro?
man.
This is sounding really good.
It's been a while.
Well, I guess I'm. Come on, sing it.
Get your fucking mic up to your banjo.
Okay.
For I still love the old-fashioned way. Still believe in an old-fashioned altar where we kneel in an old-fashioned way. That's the fucking most coolest thing I've ever heard.
I know.
Well, I guess I'm just a little old-fashioned. I love the old-fashioned way. Still believe in an old-fashioned altar. Well, I kneel in an old-fashioned way.
Sing it.
Hey, Star Wars fans, hope you enjoyed this edition of Rebel Watch. If you did, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. Also, if you'd like to become involved with this podcast, please go ahead and check us out at patreon.com/RebelWatch. Thanks.